Henry, I'm calling an ambulance. Stay with me.
No time. They'll be back to clean up.
I was checking the 1972 Moonlight Murders file when the case stopped making sense. Misfiled records don't scare me. Replaced records does.
Find anything interesting, Carter?
Just a filing error. The 72 case, evidence photos mislabeled.
Don't waste too much time on dead-end cold cases. Budget review's coming.
He said filing error. I saw surgery. Clean, careful, repeated. Someone had come into my kingdom of facts and cut out the truth. By 5 o'clock, the file was back in its box. The fear wasn't.
Quiet, girl. Run.
I told you to leave it alone! It's over!
Henry, I'm calling an ambulance. Stay with me.
No time. They'll be back to clean up. The truth. The real file. It's not in the archives. Never was. It's at home, child. Your mother's house. Look. In the wall.
A replaced page. A dead man. A key digging into my palm. And one impossible instruction. Go home. I didn't see the shooter's face. He must have been passing by. A mugging gone wrong. Someone was here. Not to steal, to search. The year after my mother died. No coincidence. Only missing links. Gunpowder. And the archives. Dust, decay, they can reach my work, my home, my life. I hadn't been back to Willow Creek since my mother's funeral. 15 years was long enough for a house to become a ghost. Dust and mildew should have hit first. Instead, I got lavender soap and old books. My mother, waiting under the rot. Henry's last words led me here. Look in the wall. Then I remembered my mother by the fire, tracing one smooth, dark stone and calling it the heart of the house. This was what Henry died for. Not a government file. My mother's diary. Today, a man asked me about books on lunar cycles in the library. His name is Thomas. I think I'm in trouble. I expected secrets. I found a love story. At first. Migraines. Loud noises. The wild thing inside me. Mom, what were you hiding? forced myself to keep reading. My husband works for something called the Legacy Cleanup Bureau, and I am his assigned target. The directive is termination. You're not a thing, Evelyn. You're my wife. You're the mother of my daughter. If the world says you're a monster, then the world is wrong. So my mother didn't die. She disappeared, and my father helped erase her to save her. Ella, my darling girl, if you are reading this, the quiet has ended. I am not human. You are not entirely human either. Your abilities will manifest. The strength, the senses, the connection to the moon. Trust no one connected to the government, to old archives, to secret bureaus. They are the hunters. My life didn't shatter. It rearranged itself into a pattern I'd been refusing to see. Not the wind, not an animal, two people, moving with purpose. For the first time in my life, the height didn't feel like danger. It felt like an invitation.
Clear. No one. Check the whole house. She was here. Scent's fresh.
Henry knew my parents. He worked the annex since 1995. He wasn't random, he was a link. At daylight, I bought a cheap hoodie, changed my silhouette, and went looking for ghosts in public records. They served together. Henry didn't stumble into my life. He stayed in it. Blackwood Sanatorium, burned in '96, rumored experiments, buried payroll, a bureaucratic footprint. Exactly the kind of truth people forget to fully erase. They weren't just threatening me, they were marking me. The hunt isn't one-sided anymore. Blackwell wasn't on any tourist map. It was a wound in the trees. My father wasn't a researcher. He was an assessor, a classify. He put names to monsters. This wasn't a hospital. It was a catalog and a trap. My father had once looked at someone like my mother, like me, and recommended termination.
Check the cabinets. If she came for records, this is the place.
No back exit. No hiding place that would hold once their lights found me.
She's in the ceiling!
The buzzing inside me wasn't fear anymore. Under the moon, it felt like power.
Don't move! What is she?
For 1 second, I let them see I wasn't prey.
I meant to find a motel. The moon had other plans. It wasn't an explosion. It was an unraveling. My name, my fear, my mother's face, everything human started slipping out of reach. The sound that came out of me was loss, rage, terror, and freedom in one breath. I wasn't running from anything anymore. I was movement, hunger, wind, claim. I wasn't a victim of my nature. I was its arch-alive, and I was done hiding from the file they wrote on me. They had an address for me. It was time I found one for them. Unit 214. 2 days in a borrowed car taught me more than a badge ever could.
Early 40s. Trained. Lives alone, keeps his life empty enough to pack in under 5 minutes. Hunter.
On the third night, I stopped watching and went inside. Not a home. A station.
We're going to talk. Sit.
You.
Me. What's your Atlas login password?
You think I'll just give it to you?
The man who shot Henry McRester. Did he give Henry a choice?
Rotating cipher. Weekly. Cards on my key fob.
Who's my case officer?
We don't use names. Burners. Dead drops.
Thomas K. Where is he?
K is MIA, presumed terminated after going rogue in 95.
And me? What does my file say?
Subject designation K Echo, daughter of defector Thomas K and confirmed non-human entity Evelyn C. Current status, elevated threat. Contain and assess, or terminate if non-compliant.
They sweep this place, don't they? I've been here too long.
You're just leaving?
Tell your people Ella Carter isn't dormant anymore, and she's not a subject. I left with a password, a label, and one new certainty. If Thomas K was only presumed dead, then I was done presuming. Atlas Logistics looked like shipping software, bland enough to die inside, which meant it was perfect cover. Every system leaves residue, failed logips, denied access requests, IDs that should be dead but still cast shadows. They were checking for a pulse on my father. They hadn't buried him. They'd monitored the possibility he was still alive. The paint on my door wasn't random intimidation. It was doctrine. A kill label. Not just a warning. A case number. Mine. I wasn't the first. I was one more branch on a family tree. They'd been preening with paperwork and bullets. Not terminated. Monitored. He might still be alive. If a watchdog was on my father's trail, then the trail existed. I didn't need Thomas K yet. I needed the hunter watching for him. Watchbad 22, I'm coming to you first.
Yeah. This is Tom with the Forestry Service. Saw a light near the old Mill Creek Fire Watch Tower. Possible squatter. Thought you should know.
Small tip. Official log. Keyword trigger. Enough to make a machine wonder if a ghost had surfaced. Not random light. An old field distress pattern buried in early bureau manuals. Something only one of them would recognize. It was desperate. A keepsake the keep from my parents' first hike. All I had that might still whisper Thomas K. to a trained tracker. In their language, it meant one thing: asset, possible, verify. Curious, not alarmed, hooked. He'd report a possible trace of TK-782, and the Bureau would tighten the net for me. For 3 days, I learned his roots, his habits, his patience. He changed positions. I changed with him. He was good. I was better.
Negative visual confirmation. The sign is fresh, but amateurish. If it's him, he'll need supplies soon. Monitor pharmacies and medical stores. His old injury will flare in this climate.
An old injury. One real thing about my father. One need that could pull him into town. Watchdog 22 would watch the towns. So would I. And when he moved on my father, I'd be there first. Iron Creek had one pharmacy, one diner, and one good window to watch both. That was enough. No rifle. Just a man in flannel and patience. Hunters wear whatever keeps the prey calm. Not my father. Wrong build. Wrong face. But the limp. The same hitch I remembered from childhood. He wasn't pouncing inside. He was building the perimeter, waiting until the street thinned and the target stepped into his box. They were walking straight into my line. Not Thomas, but connected. Blood doesn't need a name to know itself.
K-Echo. You're making a mistake.
You're following the wrong rabbit.
Stand down. This is your last warning.
I didn't need claws. I just needed him to remember what he saw at Blackwood.
Hey, stop!
Who are you?
I'm not with him. Run. To the trees.
Who are you?
My name is Ella. Thomas K. is my father.
Evelyn's girl?
He knew my mother's name. That was all I needed to hear.
Watchdog 22!
I dragged him to the only bolt hole I had left. An abandoned trapper's cabin that smelled like mildew, rust, and something already dead. You're not Thomas.
Leo. Leo K. Thomas is my little brother.
In the dim light, the resemblance hit me like a bruise. Not my father, but close enough to hurt. The Bureau thinks you're him. They're tracking the limp.
The limp? Yeah. Climate accident. Family curse. His shoulder, my hip, same damn cliff a year apart.
An uncle. I hadn't known the blank space was there until something finally filled it.
You look like her. Your mother, around the eyes.
You knew her?
Met her once. Before the wedding. She was luminous, terrified. Thomas was crazy about her.
What does that mean, Leo? He said our family. Like it meant more than blood. What are we? I was done taking fragments. I wanted the whole wound opened.
Call it a bloodline. Call it a mistake of nature or a twist of evolution. Depends on your mood. Our grandmother on our father's side was a throwback, latent gene. It skipped our dad, came out strong in Thomas and me. Different ways.
Different how?
Thomas got the nose, the senses, the hunter's instinct, made him damn good at his job if I stayed alone. Until it didn't. I got the other thing, the change, faint.
A weak, latent wolf, a man who survived by looking harmless. Suddenly my own life stopped feeling random. My mother was full-blooded.
Thomas's greatest sin. He didn't just fail to terminate a target, he fell in love with one. He bred with one. You're what they fear most, a bridge. Proof the line can be crossed.
Not an accident, not a glitch, a bridge. The word should have felt like meaning. Instead, it felt like a target painted on my chest.
The Bureau is a ghost, but its memory is long. You stirred them up, girl, showing your teeth.
I didn't have a choice. They killed a man who was trying to protect me.
Henry, good man. Guilty as sin, but trying to make it right. Thomas trusted him at the end, to watch over you.
Do you know where Thomas is? Is he alive?
I don't know, Ella, I swear. After the fire, he went to ground. He had a meeting point. I went there a year later. He never showed. It found in the Bureau's terminated file is probably right.
No, they're still monitoring for reactivation. They think he's alive.
Or they're paranoid or using him as bait for you. You led that Wajbach right to my door. I was getting arthritis pills. Now my cover's blown. This whole area will be swarming by morning.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
You couldn't have. This life is a minefield. You've been walking blind.
We can't stay here. I have another place. Deeper in, a cave system. We hide there a few days.
The pharmacy had cameras. They have your face now.
Damn, you're right.
Then we don't hide. We use it. They think you're Thomas, or a lead to him. Is the cave deep? Defensible?
Defensible? It's a hole in the ground.
Good. We don't go there to hide. We let them follow us there. Hunters expect prey to run, to burrow, so we lead them to a burrow, then we turn the ground under their feet.
You want to ambush the cleaners?
I want to send a message. The echoes aren't files to be closed. We bite back.
All right, Evelyn's girl. Let's show them what this curse can really do. They'll come at night. Better perimeter control. Few witnesses from the air.
And not just Watchdog 22. He called for backup after today.
4, maybe 6. They'll surround the entrance. Flush us out with gas or flash bombs. This isn't hide and seek. They will shoot to kill.
I know. We're not hiding. And we're not waiting for the flash bombs. I'll be outside.
Outside? They'll see you.
Not if I'm above them. There's a ledge up there. It overlooks the approach.
It's a 20-foot climb. In the dark, on wet rock.
Okay. So that's how it is.
You're the bait. Light, some movement. Make them think we're both cornered in here. When they focus on the entrance, I'm the trap.
Right.
Darkness swallowed the forest. My human eyes lost the world. The rest of me found it. They were good, quiet enough to fool anyone human. Not me. Boot on twig, tactical fabric, controlled breath, gun oil and sterile cold. Watchdog 22 was there. I knew his scent now. My heart slowed instead of racing. This was the breath before impact. On one, I moved. Not down, through. Too slow. I had no memory of learning any of it. My body did.
Move!
He wanted me in the open. I let him think it was his idea.
Ella Carter! Stand down! You are surrounded!
You're not here for assessment, you're here for termination. Like Henry. Like all the Echoes.
You are a classified anomaly. Your existence is a threat. Come quietly, and it will go easier.
Easier for who?
I didn't need a full change. I only needed him to see enough truth to feel fear.
Last warning.
Tell your Bureau K Echo is not a file. She is not an anomaly. She is a daughter. And she is done hiding. The next time you send hunters, send more.
It's stronger in you. The change. The healing.
I got lucky. They expected a scared archivist.
Not what you are.
We need to split up.
What? No! They're after both of us now. We're stronger together.
Together, we're a bigger target, a clearer trail. I've been running 30 years. I know how to vanish. You can't vanish anymore. Not after what you did. You declared war.
What do I do? More running? More hiding?
You do what you started. You find the truth, but not out here. It's in there and in there. You're the archivist, so archive. Not their lies, your truth.
My truth is that I'm a monster hiding in the skin of a woman.
Your truth is that you're a bridge. Your mother's love, your father's sacrifice, my survival, and your strength. Figure out what to build with it. I have a contact. She can get me new papers, a new hole to crawl into. I'll be a whisper.
And me?
You walk in the light, Ellie, but on your own terms. You want to find your father? Don't chase his shadow. Make a light so bright he has to see it. Or so hot it burns the hunters who get too close.
If the truth walks in naked, they kill it. If it arrives as a story, they let it in. Let them lean in. Let the Bureau hear its own language spoken in public.
Ella, if you're hearing this, you found the diary. You're walking the path. I'm sorry I couldn't be there to guide you. I can't tell you where I am. It's safer you don't know. But I'm watching. I see your light. Your mother would be so proud and so terrified. The blog is a risk, a big one, but it's brilliant. You're forcing them to play on your field now. Just be careful. They hate the light, but they'll step into it to snuff out a candle that burns too bright. There's a man, codenamed St. George. He's not just a cleaner. He's a true believer. The one who gave the order on Henry. If they send him, you run, Ella. You don't fight. You vanish. Vanish. Promise me.
Let St. George come. He won't find a candle. He'll find a wildfire.
Miss Carter, a pleasure. Your photograph doesn't do you justice.
Thank you, Mr. Stanton. Your reputation precedes you.
Your prose is vivid. Imagination like yours is rare.
Archives teach you how much can hide inside a clean sentence.
That symbol in your story, the no-wolf emblem, so striking, so specific. I can't seem to find its origin. Where did you discover it?
It came to me in a dream. Sometimes the subconscious creates the most potent icons.
And the bureaucratic elements, the Legacy Bureau, very believable. It feels authentic.
I worked in archives. I know how truth gets buried under paperwork and procedure.
Sometimes things are buried for a reason. To protect people, to maintain order, to prevent panic.
Is that what you think my story is doing? Causing panic?
Ella, may I call you Ella? Let's not play games. You have accessed classified materials. You are to state secrets in fictionalized form. That is a felony. Several felonies.
Prove it. Prove one word of my story is anything but imagination. The Bureau doesn't exist. The symbols aren't documented. It's all make-believe.
I'm not your enemy. I admire your talent. I'm here to offer a solution, a partnership. Take the blog down, sign a non-disclosure agreement. In return, my firm can offer you a generous consultancy fee, entertainment clients, a real career, safety, prosperity, or continue and face legal and practical consequences, severe ones.
Mr. Stanton, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a man who thought he was a dragon slayer. He built walls of paper and threats to keep the monsters out.
And what is that?
He forgot monsters can wear suits. And sometimes the thing you're trying to silence isn't a roar in the dark. It's a story. Stories spread. They change minds. They become truths. Thank you for lunch. The offer is declined. And as for your consequences, bring them. The war was no longer in the shadows. I had just dragged it into the light and named the dragon to his face.
St. George answered fast. Not with bullets, with paper. The goal wasn't to win. It was to drown me. Bleed me dry. Force the sight down before truth could root. My privacy-focused host folded. The blog went dark for exactly 6 hours.
The blog was only the front door. While they stared at it, I'd already hidden copies under the floorboards. They tried to excisal the story. They turned it viral.
They're not just finding fiction. They're finding themselves.
Then the story stopped being about readers. It started calling people out of hiding.
I couldn't answer them one by one, but I could leave a light on.
Stanton's side adjusted. The legal attack kept coming. Then came the smear.
Symbols draw devotion. They also draw aim.
The echo chamber. Cute, inspirational, and incredibly foolish.
I have nothing to say to you, Mr. Stanton.
You're gathering them, the lost little lambs. You think you're building a community? You're painting targets on their backs. Every curious letter, every hesitating post, we see it. We catalog it. Your beacon isn't leading them to safety, it's leading us right to them.
You leave them alone.
Or what? You'll write a sternly worded blog poster? This isn't a fairy tale. There's no happy ending for monsters.
If he wants a war, I'll stop writing around it. I'll write straight through him.
Fastener in his scandal, the Brighters can chase. He had Gemma for answer first.
Excursus and evil attack.
Insightable during Bible and down of the elections, verifiable force.
Ella, you've been industrious. I underestimated you. A rare mistake. The document damages me, yes, but the shrapnel will hit everyone. My associates are not pleased. When cornered, their responses become less smedgical, more comprehensive. Those echoes you're so concerned about?
My blood went cold. He wasn't threatening me. He was threatening a purge.
There is another way. You disappear. Permanently. Recant everything. Call it a hoax, a social experiment gone too far. You have 72 hours. If not, the cleanup will be total. It will start with the most vulnerable names on the list, the children, Ella. Think of the children.
I wanted to build a light, but fragile things in the dark don't survive a spotlight unless someone learns to see for them. Surrender or slaughter, those were his options. Mine had to be different. Not a story, not a manifesto, a key. If I vanished, the whole machine would blow open. This is Ella Carter. Please tell Mr. Stanton his 72 hours are up, my counter of 4 is on its way, and it's non-negotiable.
It's a deep fake.
A lighter to death. What's on VR every page. Haven't said that no wedding representationally canceling a lot of them and keep those ties.
If he still had the full list, cornering him could get them all killed. I needed the archive before he used it.
I should have known you'd appreciate the archives. It's where the truth goes to die, isn't it?
You've cost me my reputation, my firm, my life's work, but you won't cost me the mission. High-frequency sonic emitter, incapacitating pain, disorientation, humane containment we found.
Give me your phone. Tell me where the other copies are. Then you come with me. You'll be the final exhibit. Proof the threat was real. Proof my work was necessary.
I didn't hit the man. I hit the altar.
You can't hide!
I wasn't hiding. I was choosing where the truth would end this conversation.
The truth ends here.
He thought I was cornered. He forgot where we were standing.
You wouldn't.
Watch me. He forgot me the second his records caught fire. In the end, he loved the Lebel more than the lives inside it. Modern towers don't burn to the ground, but temples do. And the sub-basement where he kept his holy war was dying under water and flame. Do I knock on strangers' doors and tear their lives open? Or burn the phone and save myself? Not a warning cry, a call to pack. I didn't just burn his archive. I started building one of my own. The world doesn't sleep. Neither do we. Every thread holds a life. Every lock, a secret. I had no easy answers. Only scars, mistakes, and the fact that I was still here.
The change is not your enemy, Keeper. It is a tool. Your human mind is the hand that holds it. Do not let the tool use you.
It feels like it's using me, like I'm riding a lightning bolt.
Then learn the shape of the lightning. The moon is a tide. You can't stop it. But you can learn to swim.
George Stanton found dead, apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Keeper, I know who you are. I
knew your father. I was at Blackwood.
What do you want?
To talk. Not here. I have information about the Bureau's remaining structure, about St. George's true backers, and about Thomas Kay. I'm not your enemy. I was assigned to Blackwood. I followed orders. I am ashamed. What we did there was not science. It was butchery. Your father was a good man, a conflicted man. He tried to do the right thing at the end.
Do you know where he is? The backers. St. George's money.
Old money, military industrial. True believers in a pure human paradigm. St. George was their sword. Now he's broken. They'll get a new one. The idea doesn't die with the man.
You've built something powerful. That makes you a target. They'll come for the howl with hackers, whispers, bait, build, strengthen. But be a keeper, not a queen. Your strength is the network, not the dome. If you fall, it must survive. Decentralize. Teach others to keep the gate. And
what do I do?
The moon is not the only thing that hunts in cycles.
This time it wasn't a rupture. It was a recognition. The night air on fur, sage and dust and distant coyote. The world finally sung in the right key.
Not pain, not panic. A declaration. I am here. We are here. Somewhere under that same moon, I like to believe a man with kind amber eyes heard it and finally let himself smile. The hunt wasn't over, but the pack was stirring. For now, that was enough.